What happens in Venezuela may seem thousands of kilometers away from Africa, but if the United States launches military action there, Africa will feel the shockwaves. From fuel prices to foreign policy pressure, the consequences could be closer than many Africans realize. Venezuela sits on the world's largest proven oil reserves. Any US military action against Caracas would not only reshape Latin America, but also disturb global energy markets, geopolitical alliances, and developing economies, especially Africa. Africa has lived through the consequences of foreign interventions before, and that history explains the growing fear and caution across the continent today. Energy and fuel prices. If the US attacks Venezuela, oil supply disruptions are almost guaranteed. Even rumors of war drive prices upward. For Africa, this means higher petrol and diesel prices, increased transportation costs, rising food prices due to expensive logistics, more inflation in already fragile economies. Countries like Nigeria, Ghana, Kenya, and South Africa, already struggling with fuel subsidies and currency pressure, would face renewed public anger and economic strain. Many Africans fear US military action in Venezuela because it reinforces a dangerous precedent. Powerful nations using force to influence weaker states under the banner of democracy, sanctions, or security. Strategic minerals, lithium, cobalt, uranium, oil and gas reserves. Weak institutions or political instability worry that similar interventions could one day be justified on their soil. This fear is not imaginary. It is rooted in Libya, Iraq, and parts of the Sahel. Africa is increasingly walking a tightrope between global powers. The US, China, Russia, and emerging blocs like BRICS pressure African governments to choose sides, test African Union neutrality, deepen divisions between pro-Western and anti-Western states. Many African leaders fear sanctions or diplomatic punishment if they refuse to support Washington's position. Reduced foreign investment as global markets panic, currency depreciation, higher borrowing costs from international lenders, slower development projects. For countries already battling debt and insecurity, another global crisis could be devastating. Public sentiment and protest culture. Africans are not just worried, they are angry. Social media conversations across the continent reflect distrust of Western military motives, solidarity with countries resisting foreign pressure, fear that African voices do not matter in global decisions. This sentiment could fuel protests, anti-Western movements, and stronger calls for African self-reliance. Why Africa must pay attention. US military action in Venezuela would not be a distant war. It would be a global event with African consequences. For Africa, the lesson is clear. Global power struggles do not stay local. Energy security is national security, unity, and diplomatic independence are no longer optional. Africa must strengthen regional cooperation, diversify energy sources, and speak with one voice on the world stage. If you believe Africa should stop being collateral damage in global conflicts, like this video, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe for deeper geopolitical analysis from an African perspective.